huge outing for the Cubs, given the state of the rotation, to finish off this series in San Diego, keep that team in the game, give them a chance to push on that lead. But dude, like, again, like, I think unheralded, but like, he has been a really strong signing for this team. He's been inconsistent at times, but the amount of quality starts and winnable games that he has been the starter of is huge for this team.
It's also represented with how fast things can change. So that's one reason, again, for more optimism. The stat you just read by Brett, incredible to see the context. Number 12 on that list of value with Framber Valdez, who got paid $160 million, whatever it was. It puts things into the proper context. What's interesting is when he started that trend, he was not the same guy we know today. Didn't have the cutter, wasn't throwing the kick change. The fastball was a completely different shape. We talked about the fastball ad nauseum. And it's how Taillon has changed over the course of 2 years while providing value. I'm sure we'll talk about Ben Brown this podcast, but similarly, he's evolving and changing. Daniel Palencia, he's evolving and changing. May have a splitter that becomes more comfortable. And that is one reason why I talked to you when the season started about how I'm taking a step back and accepting that a lot of the pitchers, they're going to change. The roster is going to change. And as much as I want certainty and I want confidence, like, we're never going to get that. I don't know what's around the corner a month from now. And so for me to freak out, which I believe I've done a pretty good job with the injuries this year, like, you know me for the past 10 years, I would have jumped off the bridge if this were 2017. I'm doing a pretty good job, like, taking a step back, accepting that this is a problem, but there is a path forward, even if it's not clear. And Taillon is the perfect representation of that.
Yeah, I think at least with how we're dealing with the injuries, somewhat of a flooding the zone problem. It's like when you're reading a new injury every 30 minutes, it's hard to react to it all. One of them like the same day, the Palencia and maybe Boyd or something.
Dude, they all blending. There's 18
One of them
guys
felt like it was
AAA.
literally like an hour where I'm like, wait a minute, didn't I just read this?
I think it was Palencia.
I'm like, is this new?
Which, by the way,
this is a new thing.
He may be back in a week or two. So that's encouraging.
Yeah, it sounds like that's going well, and he's going to be able to come back. But I just looked at it real quick. The last 3 years, Taillon at minimum the top 30 in baseball of starters in quality starts every single year.
Yep.
And look, like, we're always searching for who's winning the Cy Young, who's the ace, who's the guy you're throwing to shut out the Brewers in 8 innings when you get to the NLDS. And I don't necessarily think that Taillon's that guy. He had a great start against the Padres last year in the playoffs. Not necessarily to that level, but a very important start. But these are guys you need, man. Like, you look across, we've talked about this before. Like, sometimes when guys get hurt, or you're talking about the 4th or 5th starter on some teams, you would not like what you're seeing. Like, go watch some of the bad teams in the league. Like, they don't have guys like Jameson Taillon pitching in the back end of the rotation.
Starter.
And, quality starts is not the measure of everything. Like, but it's signifying you are giving your team a chance to win. This offensive group that we just talked about and the way that they're performing right now, if you have your starter go out and give you 6 innings of 3-run ball, this team is going to have an opportunity to win an awful lot of games. And that is something that Jameson Taillon has been really good and really consistent at over the last few years.
One quick chart, then I'll throw it back to you. But it was important when spring training was going on to follow his velocity. We talked about the velocity with Taillon being down by about 1 and 2 miles per hour. Well, look at the scoring. Look what's trending back up, the velocity. So when you're looking at this graph here, you see 3 colors. You see the blue area, I call it the blue zone, the white zone, and the red zone. Once you're in the white zone, that's the normal range that he lived in last year. So in that last start, guess what happened? It's back in the white zone. He's back in the range that he was last year and is trending up. This is a lesson for all of us, me included, that when velocity is lower early in the year, just take a step back a little bit. There's a variety of reasons why it may be down, but it's realistic. It can go back up at the early point of the season, and we're seeing that with Taillon.